Laptop touchpad works incorrectly when on power supply. My original laptop adapter broke down, so I bought a new one. It's a no-brand adapter from a Dutch internet shop. The power of the new adapter is slightly more than the old adapter, but in my opinion that shouldn't be a problem. The laptop is a Toshiba Satellite L4015B. When the old adapter broke down due to short circuit, this laptop was connected. When the adapter is unplugged, the touchpad works correctly and smoothly. But as soon as it is connected, the cursor moves jumpy and responds badly. Does anyone know where this problem comes from, and if there's a solution?
My initial feeling is that the new power supply is causing electrical interference. The touchpad is likely connected internally via USB, which won't always of course, be susceptible to interference. Here's a test for this. Do you see the incorrect behavior if you have your new power supply plugged in and sitting next to your computer, but not actually plugged into the machine?
I have the same problem, erratic or no control on the touchpad, and found it disappeared as soon as I unplugged the replacement, and probably not from the laptop manufacturer, power supply from my HP laptop. I then found this post on another forum that seems pretty accurate. My guess is that there might actually be something wrong with the touchpad circuitry, or you have a power supply problem as suggested in this clip from Wikipedia. If the computer is powered by an external power supply, SU, the detailed construction of the SU will influence the virtual ground effect. A touchpad may work properly with one SU but be jerky or malfunction with another. This does not imply any electrical risk whatsoever. A delicate capacitive ground, not a contact ground, is at issue. This has been known to cause touchpad problems when a manufacturer's SU, which will have been designed to work with the touchpad, is replaced by a different type. This effect can be checked by touching a metallic part of the computer with the other hand and seeing if operation is restored. In some cases touching the insulated power supply with some part of the body, or using the computer on the lap instead of on a desk, while working can restore correct operation. I can confirm that my issue disappears when I do the following. Unplug the power supply from the laptop. Touch a metallic part of the laptop, i.e. USB port, place the laptop on my lap, probably earthing it as above. Touch the power supply with my hand. All in all, it seems to be down to the electronic circuitry of the replacement, non-manufacturer's power supply is not the same as the manufacturer's original unit. So I either have to use it on my lap or plug a USB mouse in if using on a desk.
I had this issue just now, then found this while attempting to troubleshoot. At first I thought this was caused by a recent Ubuntu update that conflicted somehow with my Dell Mini 10. Turns out it was the power outlet I was plugging my laptop into. What's even more odd is when the power strip I have the power adapter plugged into is switched off, the mouse still does not work. So I started plugging in the switched off power strip with my power adapter and laptop plugged into it to other outlets, and with all of them my mouse works except this one outlet. So I then discovered that although everything else I've plugged into this outlet seems to work, when the fish tank light which is plugged into this same outlet is on, the mouse on this laptop doesn't work whether the power strip is switched on or off. Just last week though, this very plug/power configuration was working perfectly. Maybe this 1-year-old netbook is starting to show its age? At any rate, I hope this helps someone.
I had the same problem with a Dell computer. The pointer was slightly jumping while touching the touchpad without moving the finger, and sometimes even without touching it, while writing. It took me a while to figure out that they were, at least, two issues. I wasted my time reinstalling/updating drivers etc. Troubleshooting. The first problem is a badly designed Dell laptop. I have two computers, a cheap one from Dell, and an expensive one. Both are connected to the same wall outlet, on the same office, but only one of them, the cheap one, has an issue with the touchpad. So the second problem was an interference. You can check with a friend which appliance is responsible for that interference by unplugging everything. Hopefully it won't be your neighbor device. And then plug them back each device one by one, while pressing the mouse without moving your finger to see when it will start jumping again. The problem came from an electric blanket or its cheap charger. Interestingly, the cursor was jumping when we moved at some place of the room. I first thought there was some tiny leak of current going through the ground from a faulty device, but no. Disconnecting the faulty device from the ground did not solve the problem. Solution. This solution to touch the cable did not work for me. I guess this one might work. Did not tried yet. But since I'm not interested to disassemble my laptop, Roru's answer looks the more promising. But I don't know how he did. I'll post a picture when I'll time to do it. Roru. I used a piece of thicker aluminum foil from a sealer of a ground coffee container. Then I managed to open one of the plastic covers at the bottom of the laptop and secure the aluminum sheet with one screw inside the cover. Then I bend the aluminum sheet to have an exposed surface outside. Finally, I secured the edges with electric tape. This creates a permanent grounding surface that can be touched by hand or my lap.
E se o antes do suporte de Chanel, PA de conceder subscrevendo.